Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey everyone, welcome back here.
Joe here.
Kevin.
So we're really the nitty gritty of season 3 of Mad Men right now.
Yeah, you and I spent a lot of time post recording talking about Pete Campbell
Yes,
and his guilty confession
to Trudy,
to Trudy.
which it wasn't less of a confession, more of just her reading it on his face because he just kind of broke
Well,
down
it looked like he wanted to confess anyway.
emotional confession,
Right.
anyways.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it is purposefully ambiguous whether or not what he felt guilty about was right because it can be read many
He
different
does,
ways.
because he doesn't, one, we don't get it, right? It's all show, don't tell. We don't get told what's going on in Pete's head,
No.
other than the fact that he doesn't want Trudy to leave him alone, to give him a chance to be that guy again.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
Maybe that's noble, but the way he acted towards that poor au pair, I don't feel anything but contempt for him
That poor woman.
about that. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
horrible.
She's the one person that nobody seemed to have any concern over.
No,
Poor
not
Trudy,
even the owner of
the owner's like, yeah, exactly. He's like, go find someone else. My au pair's crying and it's ruining my day. I'm like, you're a dick. I'm sorry, but God,
I know, you just get kicked in the teeth.
I'm serious.
Um,
I'm like, I want both of these guys to get in a fight and knock each other to hell.
Obviously we weren't alive at this point in time,
Right.
but like, was it really that bad?
The show certainly, here's what I think, and because you and I've talked about this a little bit. I don't think it was like everybody cheats on everybody and that's how the 50s are, right? Or the 60s,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
right? But I do think in this class of people,
I was
the
thinking that
rich
too.
the rich entitled people who are entitled to everything that
In
they get,
Manhattan. Yeah.
yeah. Why wouldn't they also feel entitled to sleep with whoever they want? You know what
Yeah,
I mean? And I know that sounds reductive, and I'm not trying to lump everybody in together and be overly generalized,
sure.
but so many people have affairs on this show. You've got to say, why is it like that commonplace, especially among the men?
Yeah.
Um, and I think it really, not exclusively, and I think it really kind of does come down to like they can do whatever they want all the time. Why couldn't they do this? You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I agree with
It's
that.
the Dunning Kruger thing of if you're stupid about one thing, why wouldn't you be stupid about everything?
And it kind of reads as like the people that have everything and nothing, right?
Right. Hmm.
Like I have all these things, but then again I'm emotionally empty,
Right. Absolutely.
morally empty, and that's kind of the theme of the show, right? These just morally bankrupt people.
They're again. It's the idea. I mean, this show. What makes this show so great? It is the story of America, right?
Yeah.
We're all chasing this American dream, and no matter what we get, we didn't get it. You know what I mean? No
Yeah.
matter where you end up, you didn't end up where you think you're supposed to be.
Yeah,
I'm not.
that's
I have all this money. I had all this everything.
uh,
It's Gatsby, right?
I was just
I
thinking,
have.
yeah,
I have.
Fitzgerald, yeah.
I have everything. Why all of a sudden am I not happy? I'm supposed to be happy when I get all this,
Yeah.
and I'm not.
It,
Well,
it
it's a moving target. You're not going to hit
exactly. And in many ways it is kind of a continuation of Gatsby, isn't it?
for sure.
Just he is just bumped up 30 years, 20 years later, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or
it is.
40 years later.
Don Draper and Gatsby are very similar
They
guys,
are,
right?
aren't
It's
they? Yeah.
it's it's I've achieved all this success, but
And their pasts are very
and they're
similar too.
frauds.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They came up as frauds
Yeah. I
for
wonder
sure.
I'm sure somebody else has made that correlation
Oh, it
before,
has to be,
but it's
right?
kind of crazy we're
There's
just now
yeah,
realizing
there
that.
yeah, there's probably a doctoral thesis in some film school or an English department that someone wrote comparing Mad Men
Great
and
Gatsby.
Great Gatsby
I'd
for
love to
sure.
read it.
Yeah,
I'd
right.
love to read it, man.
Let me read somebody's boring thesis.
Fitzgerald, he would love this show.
Right, absolutely.
But no, and then the last episode too, they went to Rome, Dawn
Right.
and Betty, and she's really dealing with this crisis of do I? She hasn't said it, but do I leave my husband or do I start an affair with Henry?
I like that you use the word crisis
Uh-huh.
because I think the one person it's not a crisis to is Betty.
Yeah.
Because remember, she says to Don, and he's like, "How do you like Rome?" And she said, "Honestly, I can take it or leave it." And I feel like we're talking about her marriage there. You know what I mean? I could
Big
stay with
time.
you and be happy, or I could go be with Henry and be just as happy. I don't really care. Either one would be fine.
Yeah, Betty's kind of puddle deep, isn't she? I mean,
I,
she's not. I mean, she's a deep, complex character
here's
to
the
an extent,
here's the
but not
thing.
really.
We've talked about this too. People watching. I try to be careful to make sure that my feelings on a character, I don't want to feel like the sexist guy who pulls for the guy and
Yes.
hates the girl. I really don't. And I feel like like, am I in that trap with this show? Because Don is not a good husband, but
No.
I like Don more than Betty. I'm like, well,
Sure.
am I, looking at me like, am I being a POS
Yeah.
for liking Don but not liking Betty when Dawn's been terrible to her.
Yeah.
And I don't think so. I don't think that, and I kind of go back and forth on this, but I think the reason I don't like Betty has nothing to do with her being, a bad wife or
No.
whatever, because we have other women on the show who are strong women, right?
Sure.
We have Joan. And we
John,
have Peggy.
Peggy, even Trudy to a certain
Yeah, even
extent
Trudy to a certain extent, right?
is a more, I don't want to say interesting character because
Right.
Betty's interesting, but like I just like them more.
Right.
You know what
And
I
I'm
mean?
trying like, why do I like them but not
Yeah,
like Betty? And it's not because Betty is being unfaithful to Dawn or
sure.
whatever, because Dawn doesn't deserve faithfulness. I think it has more to do with the fact that just like kind of what Betty's dad said to her,
Yeah.
she's just kind of a spoiled brat who never grew up. She went from being Daddy's little girl to being Dawn's little girl,
Yes.
and she acts like a child. She takes no responsibility.
Mm.
She has no agency. She doesn't want agency. She doesn't do anything for herself. And I think we really saw that when she figured out Dawn was cheating on her,
Yeah.
and Dawn's out of the house for an extended period of time
We
because
really
of it, right?
soured on her. We were all
That's when
Team Betty, but
we
like
were,
after that,
and
we
that's
really
when
soured on her.
because she completely alienated her kids at the same time. Dawn did too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not defending Dawn. This isn't about
Quite
Dawn.
literally, he wasn't there. But
Right.
yeah,
But it is more about Betty in that her kids are there and she's like, whatever, I'm going to bed. You guys go to bed. Carla, take care of the kids. Whatever. I'm going to bed. I'm going to drink. I'm going to smoke. I'm going to ride horses.
yeah,
Carla, you take care of the kids. It's like at some point, you got to stop feeling sorry for yourself. I mean, we can say that Don's a terrible husband and father, and I think in a lot of ways he is, but he was still doing things like working to pay the bills,
yeah.
and keep the house going and everything.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, like, at least some of the responsibility Don was still doing, and Betty wasn't. Is that fair? Does that make
That's
sense?
totally fair. And also, like, if you know your husband's cheating on you because he never outright said it,
Right,
but you know, and you're so much so that you're going through his things, you're going through
right,
his
right.
desk, and you want to leave him.
I mean, it's
And,
easy.
and I get you can't just leave him. But at this point, her
Right,
father was still alive. She still had a brother in the picture. They're still quite wealthy. And you know what? If she's just going to go on and marry a guy, or not marry, but like be with a guy like Henry, she could have done that then. She could have
right.
had
That's true.
she
She
could
could
have
have
had the
done
guy
that.
from the country club.
The only thing I would say about that is, especially given the time period, and it's hard to just leave a husband. One,
Oh, sure.
divorce wasn't easy in the '60s
No.
at all,
And look how they
especially for a woman just leaving a husband.
well, they have the neighbor. Look how they
Right,
ridicule the neighbor for being divorced,
right,
and Glenn's mom.
right.
And I mean that's probably what it is, right? That's probably the whole point of
Mrs.
the Glenn.
Bishop. Yeah,
That's probably the whole point of the Glenn character. She sees Glenn's mom, and she's like, I don't know
yeah.
that.
All the that's why I think that's
Yeah,
why all the women hate her
yeah,
is because like she's the ghost of Christmas future.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, oh, I want
That could
nothing.
be me.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Like, taboo. She's the mirror they don't want to see.
But it begs the question: do you think that Betty is an intentionally written to be unlikable? I mean, because there's plenty of other shows like that. Like you look at Breaking Bad.
Right.
Skylar White is kind of the same way. Now,
I didn't
how
hate Skylar as much as everyone else
I
did.
it's a little different
Right.
for sure, but like yeah, I mean that was crazy because people online completely
People. Yeah.
trashed Anna
Right.
Gunn and her career. Kind of was
Yeah.
not the same
That
afterwards.
sucked. Yeah. That.
That's horrible,
Right.
and we're not saying it's the same thing, but at the same time, there's a certain unlikability to that character,
There
just
is.
like
Right.
there is for everybody else.
Right. And I see why. And we don't need to get into my thoughts on Anna Gunn and how she got kind of
Yeah,
screwed over by the fans on Breaking
sure,
Bad
sure,
because
sure.
she did.
Great
But
actress.
right. But yeah, I I don't know. I haven't read anything. All we're doing is watching the show.
Yep.
But I would say one, the writers on the show are obviously brilliant. This is probably the best written drama I've ever seen. So
Yes.
I would say Betty being unlikable was probably intentional.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because it makes it more complicated,
More
right?
interesting.
It would be much easier to write like Betty is the sweet victim all the time,
Yeah.
and Dawn is a monster that broke up with her, or the other way, right?
Yeah.
Betty's a horrible wife, and Dawn's stepping out because he's got a horrible wife. But you make it muddier by Betty actually being victimized by Dawn, while at the same time not being a great person herself.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more nuance, a lot more gray area, and a lot more reality to it.
I agree with
I think
that.
that's it. I think we're not supposed to like Betty, and we're supposed to feel sorry for Betty. I think we're supposed to have these discussions and kind of feel gross about not liking Betty.
No, it plays your perspective. At
Yeah,
some point in time, there's times you hate Don.
there are definitely times you hate
You know,
Dawn.
so it's
All
just
right.
a good show all the way around.
It is. Sorry, we've talked a long time there, but I thought that was an important question
It
to
was.
talk about. Do you want to welcome some new Patreon subscribers, guys? So D. Jair, Emily, Eric Carlson, Jennifer Stahl, uh, Ahmed Ibrahim. Thank you so much and welcome, guys. We really appreciate you being here,
Yeah.
nerds.
Words. And if you're watching us on YouTube for the first time, welcome to our channel.
Hi, guys.
If you don't mind hitting the like button for us, leave us a comment down below. Give us your thoughts on Betty. We really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
are we being too? It's okay if we're being too hard on Betty. There are a lot of times people will say something to me, and I consider new perspectives on characters.
No, absolutely.
For sure.
We,
Yeah,
we consider all of it.
yeah.
And if you're watching us on YouTube, like I said, if you don't mind hitting the subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all of our new content we have coming your way.
We'd really appreciate that for sure.
Yes, we would.
If you'd like to see a flip-through reaction to all of the episodes of Mad Men, plus everything else we're watching, please check out the link in the description below to our Patreon page. We'd really appreciate you seeing over there. Man, I cannot say the word appreciate today.
Appreciate.
Words, man.
Yeah, now I'm
Use your mouth. Back on the
love seat. Oh, okay.
This is still her thinking about Henry.
Yes.
And you know what? Again, I don't feel bad for Dawn in that.
You ever prey on a difficult problem?
What?
Connie is 3 a.m.
You're calling a family man in the middle of the night.
I want what I want when I want it. You don't care
See,
what it does to the
Connie
rest
and the
of us.
baby both, yeah.
Yes.
Like someone else I know.
Right? Oh, it's the teacher.
What are you doing?
Exercising?
Let me give you a ride. Where are you going?
She's exercising, man.
The whole idea is to run there.
Yeah.
Take a break.
I did not sleep last night.
Go take a nap. I'll shop in the afternoon.
It's a letter to Henry. Yep.
Your window on the world. Hilton. Period.
That window looks as old to me as those columns.
Yeah, it's not a good looking window for sure.
Look at the tag is flat.
Well, that one's yours.
That doesn't make it good. If it's bad, don't use it.
He's being rough today.
He is.
There is no deadline. I want to see work as you think of it. Give me more ideas to reject.
I like
Can't do
that.
this all
Actually.
by myself.
Is he looking for her again?
Oh yeah.
He was, wasn't he?
Drive past the house.
Oh, Don. That is a man who will never learn.
No.
Is this today's mail?
Uh-huh. I'll get it.
That's probably from Henry. There's no return address
Yeah.
on it. Yeah.
This seems dangerous. Just to be like,
Letters to your house.
yeah.
Like, get a P.O. box, man.
Close
This is, yeah, so this is a little intimate.
Yeah, see? I don't think that's so bad.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Lee Garner Jr. is into Sal.
I'll lock the door. I'm married. So am I.
Yeah, it was a different time. He had to feel bad for Sal. He's always in a position where he just can't win.
He always is.
What's wrong? It's that Salvatore fella, the director.
Oh man.
He's no good. I'd like him gone.
No, I'm not really. I can't. Pete and Roger handle your account.
No, Harry. I want you to take care
Oh,
of
this guy's the worst.
Yeah, he is the worst.
I'm not going to panic and do something stupid like I usually do. That's a good start. I can't really do anything, can I? He was really drunk.
He's going to ignore it.
Shows up.
Good. Oh my
Is
God.
it?
Yeah, he's acting
Now, don't
surprised.
be like that. I know it's a privilege to call you at home. I don't think I've worn it out.
You're getting used close to wearing it out, man.
Yeah.
He has a wife and baby and 2 other kids.
You come have a drink with me. I'm in bed.
I think you know I'm in a bit of a crisis tonight.
Well, I would hope so in all the middle of the night phone
Yeah.
call.
It's my purpose in life to bring America to the world, whether they like it or not.
Seems like it's
Colonization.
yeah, it's like a very aggrandized sense of self there.
Yeah.
Because we have God.
Oh man.
Communists don't.
I couldn't even engage in a conversation like this with
They're
somebody.
most important.
I know I shouldn't be here. It's just I wanted to see you.
Oh, there you are.
Carla, this is Henry Francis. He works for Governor Rockefeller.
It's nice to meet you.
I don't think Carla's stupid, and Carla knows. Yeah.
Pleasure to meet you.
You as well.
Mr. Don's not gonna like this.
Right. Yeah, look at her.
Yeah.
Carla's not dumb.
That ain't my finger.
Oh, he's gonna blow
You
this
have
up.
to hear the beginning of that
Yeah.
joke.
Lee?
Oh man.
Oh.
This guy is the worst.
Yeah, he sucks.
He was really drunk. I thought it would blow over. I didn't even think he'd remember.
When you get in trouble, you call mommy and daddy.
He told me
Yeah.
not to tell you.
He wouldn't say a word. He just left.
Oh Jesus.
Sal, you're fired.
Are you
What?
serious?
Lee Garner Jr. wants you fired. What is going on?
Is Sal actually
Now, you're
fired?
gonna use
It
your
sounds
dying
like it,
breath.
yeah.
What did he say to you?
Nothing. I have to talk to Don.
Let me talk to Don.
I'm doing as I'm told. Is he busy?
I can see you and I can hear you. What do you want?
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Roger said to tell you to fix it. Those are his words.
Fantastic. That's a $25 million account you stuck your nose in, Crane.
I think it's like a significant portion of their business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, can we stay open if
Okay,
we
so
lose Lucky Strike?
that
Yeah,
explains wanting to fire him.
yeah.
Sal, something must have happened. I can't help you unless you tell me.
We had a misunderstanding.
Jesus, I'm not going to ask again.
Yeah, just tell me
Yeah.
what happened.
But nothing happened. Because nothing could have happened because you're married.
Oh, is Don throwing this back in
Don,
his
I swear
face?
on my mom. What if it was some girl?
That would depend on what kind of girl it was and what I knew about her. You people.
Oh, no.
Don!
That is disgusting.
Come on, man.
You'll do fine.
So he just got fired for turning down some guy hitting on him.
That's awful.
Yeah. That is Don being awful right there.
That is the worst thing he's done in the show.
You know, honestly, I say this is the least.
That
this is the least I've liked Don in 4 seasons.
I don't
3
care if
seasons
he's
of
under
this show.
pressure. He just did
Yeah,
that
yeah.
and said that.
I didn't want to bother you with it, but that man dropped by today from the governor's office. Carla met him.
Oh, Carla's like, don't drag
Francine
me into
sent him
this.
over.
Yeah.
If you're here, do I have to be here? Because I'm leaving.
No. Go ahead.
Good night, boss.
Ugh.
He's cleaning out his desk.
How do you say ice water in Italian? Hilton. How do you say fresh towels in Farsi? Hilton.
Oh, yeah, I'm not as big. I like the one that the two guys did
I did too.
more. Yeah.
There's nothing about the moon.
Well, right now that's not an actual destination.
That wasn't the point. I said I wanted Hilton on the moon. I couldn't have been more clear about it.
Misunderstood that. I'm sure there's a way to fit that into this.
How do you go to the moon, Hilton?
Right. Yeah, exactly, right. Is he just going to be a jerk to be a jerk?
Berate him in front of everybody?
Yeah.
I'd like to speak with Don in private.
Oh, Jesus.
He is, isn't he? Well, I guess he's not doing it in front of everybody.
You did not give me what I wanted. I'm deeply disappointed, Don.
There it is. There's the disappointed dad crap.
Yeah.
I assume he's been delayed.
Actually, he asked that I address the group on behalf of the governor.
Oh. That's disappointing.
I wanted to cheat on my husband.
Yeah, exactly. Where's my boyfriend?
Yeah.
She's such a toddler right now, man.
The rumor that there's
Is she rage driving down? That's what it looks like, the music and the cigarette. Here's your money!
Oh, my God.
Hey,
Yeah.
would you listen to me? You had to come to me
And why is that?
because you're married.
I mean, I kind of see what he's getting at there. I mean, screw him, but I see what he's getting at there.
Yeah.
I can't pursue you because you're married, but if you pursue me, it's different, it's better, whatever.
Yeah. Is he not married?
I'm assuming not.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry I started this.
So she's ending it? She's kind of realizing now that she shouldn't have done this in the first place?
We've had 2 clients in 1 week leave here angry. Important clients. Now, what you want this place to be known for? That and some guy losing his foot in a lawnmower? I want to put you on note.
I wanted to talk.
Right. Says the man as he unbuckles his pants.
You've been flirting with me for months,
That's true.
So what?
so I can't stop thinking about you.
You called that. Wow.
Because I'm new and different. You live 2 miles from here. Your daughter was my student. I've seen your wife in the market. I don't think you've done this before this way.
I want you. I don't care. Doesn't that mean anything to someone like you?
What does he mean by that?
I don't know.
Someone like you. I'm not sure what he means by that.
Well,
So,
he's
you know what it is?
actually
It's like everything else. Every other time, man, work starts going bad. He runs into the arms of another woman to get away.
You know, also, we didn't consider this. What if Conrad called him when he was with the teacher? And then Betty's at home and she answers the phone. She's like, Don's not here. He's not with you.
You know what? That would be. Boy, wouldn't that be a tough one to explain?
Oh, yeah. And then Betty would just throw it in his face and it would, justify her even more and
Right.
cheating. Go ahead, sorry.
No, sorry. I was just going to say, like, it's kind of prescient that we had that conversation about should I like or hate Betty, and I feel like in this episode, it's more on the lines of we're really not supposed to like her.
Same with Dawn. Dawn was horrible this
Yeah, no,
episode.
they were both horrible. This is the least I've liked Dawn in every episode of the show.
Me too. And honestly, in a lot of ways, him and Betty are kind of perfect for each other because
Right.
they're doing the same thing. They're
Right, they're
both
just
so
horribly dysfunctional and selfish.
so ignorant.
Oh,
You
completely.
know, like Don. I'm not saying he was a little homophobic there,
No, it was. You people, come on.
and then even Betty being frankly racist to Paula.
Yeah, that was so
Her
freaking.
name is Paula, right?
No, it's not Paula. It's starts with a C.
Oh
I
my
could have
gosh.
sworn it was. Oh my God, I'm totally blanking out.
I am guys.
Carla.
Carla.
God,
Carla,
sorry
Carla.
guys,
Paula.
Carla.
Carla. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, but she was frankly quite racist to her there. I mean,
Definitely
they are.
insensitive at the very least.
They're both ignorant. They're both cheaters. They're both self obsessed to a certain degree, um, which is weird because like they have all that in common yet they can't get along with one another.
And they don't think about the consequences to their flippant life choices at all.
At all. And the teacher's right. Like I had your kids in class. Like what's going to happen at the end of this?
Right.
Nothing good.
Yeah, nothing good's going to come from
You're
this,
going to get
man.
divorced,
Or
man.
no, well, I think when she says like, "I've seen the end of this," I think it's like I'm going to get dumped and I'm going to be the one that's hurt, and you're going to move on to another one.
Or worst case, yeah, exactly. Or
Right.
worst case scenario, it just hurts her in the end.
Right.
That's the teacher who's the homewrecker.
Yeah, no, she's
you know what I mean?
yeah. But I think she's the one who's going to get hurt. I think that she knows that.
Well, we don't know. I feel like they've went out of their way to establish her character to where, I mean, I don't know. Rachel Menken, they kind of established her, and she hasn't been back on the show either. So that's the thing with the show is when you bring a character like a mistress like Bobby
Barrett.
Bobby Barrett, they stick around for a while and they go away. So maybe she's destined to have the same fate as Bobby Barrett and Menken, but I like the teacher. I don't know why.
I like her as a character. Yeah,
she seems to be the only like quote unquote good person. Maybe it's just that she's more interesting than Bobby Barrett.
She's definitely different than the other because I mean, what Don's been with rich, successful single women, rich, successful married women. That weird artist in the first
Maybe
season.
that's what he meant when he said, "Does that mean anything to someone like you?"
Right, like
because
a different person.
She's the different class for sure.
Yeah,
she's not rich and wealthy like Menken and Bobby Barrett were. So maybe that's what he meant by that.
Possibly.
I don't know.
I just feel like we got an episode where we really got to see that Dawn and Betty are both just kind of gross. And I like that. I like that we're the midway point of the run of the show. And we get that reminder here of, by the way, these are two people who should not be together.
I honestly, I hate
And
to
they're
say
tone
this,
deaf.
but I really want this to end with them getting a divorce.
Yeah.
I can't stand them together. Like they are just too toxic, man. They're an atomic bomb.
They are.
They really are. And their kids are suffering for it. They're suffering for it.
Right.
It's okay to like say, you know what? We tried it. It's over.
For sure.
This is done.
Yeah.
And I think honestly they'd both be happy. Sorry, my phone is blowing up right now. It's driving me crazy. But like it's just it's not healthy.
No.
And I think it'd be a different show if the two of them split together. Obviously we'd have to follow both characters because they're both, stars of the show.
And they both have kids. That'd be a shared thing. Like, I feel like even if they get divorced, and I don't know how they're not, at least at some point in the run of the show.
Yeah.
I don't think they get to be done with each other because of the kids.
Unless that's
or at least Sally.
Unless
I don't think the other kids matter.
Really, it is just Sally.
Right.
Sally and Jean, and then not Bobby.
It's Bobby.
The kid's name is Bobby.
Yeah.
We hardly see him.
He's
always just there drinking milk.
Yeah, Bobby
with a dirty shirt on.
Bobby does very little. Today he got to say how much he doesn't like his new teacher.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what Bobby did.
That's his place.
Yeah.
Easiest paycheck ever.
Yeah, right? The kid gets 2 lines every
You're going to come in, you're going to play on top of that little playhouse.
That's it, yeah.
Call it a day.
All right, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.
See ya.